Hi gals, it's Kristen, and I'm here for my 20-week update. I'm actually really tired right now, so I'm not feeling super enthused, but I also really have no idea when else I'm going to be able to record this week. I was really hoping after last week and really the week before being super busy that this week would be kind of a break, and it's just turning out not to be. We had a staff meeting yesterday because we couldn't have it last week because of births, and then today, the reason why I'm filming this now is I have to go to a home visit that's like an hour and a half away. Fortunately, I don't have to drive all the way. I'm just going to drive into the office, and then I'll ride with my preceptor and the other student midwife that's on the birth team up to the mom's house. And I enjoy home visits. It's just this one's a really long haul, and it feels really, my schedule's felt a little bit relentless, so I'm tired. I do have a track that I'm going to listen to, like a lecture that I'm going to listen to on the way that I'm looking forward to on the way into the office. That always helps make things a little bit better when I've been in the car a lot. Then Wednesday I have to do normal prenatals, plus I have to go into town a little bit early because there's like a little homeschool fair that I need to go to and order curriculum for my kids for next year because we get discounts for ordering there. And then on Thursday, there's a meeting that I need to go to with a couple of local business women. I'm actually really looking forward to that because I can get some feedback from them on my business, and I really value, especially because it's business women. And I just value the input of other women on how they've made their businesses successful, because I'm kind of feeling beat up right now. I feel like my website has not been as successful as I really want and need it to be. And to me, I take that personally, which is tough. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting some fresh insights and feedback from female entrepreneurs who have been real successful. But at the same time, it means 4 days out this week after a really intense week last week, and then the week before going to a conference. And I just find myself kind of, oh my gosh, I really, really need a break. And then there's other things like one of my kids has got to get a 4-H animal by the 15th, and it's the 9th, and I just sometimes feel like I can't do everything. And so I've got to, hopefully when I get done with this, I can call the farmer where we're going to get our animal. It's not that far away, so just hopefully maybe Friday afternoon or Sunday we can go just pick the critter, because as long as we've got it picked and it can be tagged, it's okay if it takes some time. It's a calf, so we can't just put in the back of the van like we can do with the lambs or the goats or anything. We have to have somebody with a livestock trailer bring it, which we don't have. So anyways, just so much going on, and I'm just really tired. I really want some downtime. I really want to get this calf figured out, because this time of year for 4-H is almost more stressful than Fair Week, because at least at Fair Week we have the animals. But this time of year, getting the animals home, making arrangements for that, making sure that they're settling in well, all of that is stressful, and a lot of it still falls on my shoulders at this point. Not so much once they're here, then the kids have to feed them, but we also have to make sure that the kids are doing a good job and everything. But especially the logistics of, okay, how are we going to go pick out this critter, falls on me. And when I feel like I'm juggling all kinds of other logistics, it's just, oh. Anyways, so I sound a little complainy this week, and I'm sorry for that. But it's just where I'm at right now. I'm just tired. I need a break. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe next week will be kinder to me. At least if I can stay home more. See, that's the thing. If I can stay home and work on projects, that's much less exhausting than go. But yeah, hopefully no moms will go into labor for the next couple of weeks, and next week I won't have to drive so much. But anyway, so this week I am 20 weeks. I'm halfway through. Other than being really tired right now, which I feel is definitely because things have just been so busy in the past couple of weeks. And there's other stuff going on too. Like I said, the 4-H thing is a stressful thing. We're having issues with our internet connection, which is super stressful when you work online, and when, your kids' schoolwork and stuff is like, we need internet connection because they work in OneNote and all of that. it's just super stressful. And then also, like, just, some things with my apprenticeship and stuff, not my preceptor or the births or anything, just logistical stuff, academics and that kind of thing can get, it gets stressful. So anyways, I'm kind of feeling a little downtrodden this week, I guess. But other than just feeling really tired right now, which I think could be solved by a nice nap, but I'm not going to have the luxury of taking one today. I feel good. The baby's been moving lots and lots and lots. Like yesterday evening, we were watching Downton Abbey, and like I could feel the baby kicking in places that I haven't been able to feel yet. So like way up higher on my belly than I've been able to feel, which is really cool, which is probably just because the baby's getting bigger and stronger and maybe stretching out more. But I really like it. I love feeling the baby move. That's probably one of my favorite parts of being pregnant, is when the baby's really moving. So definitely feeling lots of movement now. I have had a little bit of nausea this week after having a couple weeks without it, which is a real bummer. But I'm guessing that's probably related to stress. I do feel like I've been able to eat pretty well throughout all of this. I've kind of prioritized eating, and like especially when we're at births, usually I eat very well, number one, because my preceptor is there and she makes sure that I eat. It's interesting to be employed by your midwife. But also because usually, the people have food in their house that they're okay with the midwives eating. And usually they stock easy stuff at the end of the mom's pregnancy and then to have for the midwives. So, peanut butter sandwiches or turkey sandwiches, or usually there's cut fruit, which for some reason is definitely tasting really good right now. I didn't want fruit much earlier in my pregnancy, but now it's like, oh, watermelon, pineapple, that sounds delicious. So I do feel like I've eaten pretty well. And like yesterday for the staff meeting, I took a big salad for my lunch with cottage cheese and turkey and that sort of stuff. So that was really good. So I think I'm eating well. I definitely do feel like my appetite's up. I start to get grumpy if I don't eat regular snacks now, so that's a good thing. Yeah, and so otherwise, I guess another thing, I'm definitely still noticing like pregnancy nails. I keep having to clip my nails like crazy. One of the things I think I've decided, this is kind of icky, but I have like a wart on this pinky. I don't know where it came from. I had warts when I was like a kid, and they all either went away on their own, or there was one that I used to actually have a scar, but I guess that's faded over time. But there was one right there that the doctor took off for me, like froze off some point in my teen years, and I just hadn't had any problems. And then this one came up not too long ago, and I've decided it's driving me crazy enough now. I asked for like some natural wart remedies, and I got told some essential oils and things, and I don't have any of the oils that were recommended. I don't know that I have the patience or the ability to like try and do banana peel taping, so I think I'm just going to call the nurse practitioner and ask her if it's okay to get that frozen off during pregnancy, because like I said, it's really bugging me. One of the reasons it's bugging me is because I think about like when you're doing newborn exams, like you're using all your fingers to feel, especially like when you're feeling the baby's head, like checking the fontanelles and everything, and like all of your fingers are kind of lightly resting, and I just feel like it's in the way. And then like when you do the newborn exam, you check the baby's palate, and I'm right-handed, so it wouldn't matter too terribly much. But I keep thinking that, if something was wrong with my right hand, like I had cut my left thumb a couple weeks ago, and that really got in the way. But like if I cut my right pinky and couldn't use that to do a newborn exam check, I need to be able to use this pinky to check a newborn's palate. So anyways, it's like occupationally, and I don't feel like you can really see it, so it's not so much of a cosmetic thing except for me myself. I was hoping that pregnancy might minimize it, because sometimes like warts and things like that go away during pregnancy, but no such luck. So that's something I'm thinking about having done. Otherwise, health-wise, everything feels good. Like I said, the nausea's come back a little bit, which I don't think is related to food. I think it's related to being tired. That's actually where I was going with that whole food thing. I think it's just being really tired. We had, this was something fun. So we had the picnic for like the annual picnic baby reunion get together for my midwife last Friday, which was actually the International Day of the Midwife, one of the reasons we did it then. And it was Friday evening at a local park that has a lodge here. And it was so much fun. We got to see a lot of clients. I was disappointed because I've done so many births now, and not that many of the babies that I had been there for their births were there, which was kind of a bummer. But there were a few, so it was really cool to get to see them, and all of them were excited for me, especially because they all read in like this year's practice newsletter that I was a student and that I was expecting a new baby myself, so I got lots of congratulations. But probably the most fun was that my preceptor, head midwife, asked a square dancing band and a square dancing caller to be there, and she's a really experienced caller, and she did a great job calling square dancing with all kinds of little children and lots of people who had no idea what they were doing, and it was so much fun. My oldest child, my 15-year-old, I think she danced just about every dance. She had a blast. And even my little ones, and even my two oldest boys who were beforehand were like, I'm not going to square dance, got into it, and each of them did like one or two dances, and I think they had great fun. And I got Scott up there for a dance too. I did two myself, but square dancing and pregnancy, I was bouncing around probably a little bit more than I should have been. And we had good food and everything. So later that night I had like a bad tummy ache, which I think is probably because of bouncing around a bit too much, so I won't bounce quite that much anymore. But it was a lot of fun. So I did wear my relief band that night because the tummy ache was kind of like when I was in bed trying to sleep. Maybe even in the middle of the night I woke up and got it. And I don't know if you can see, like right there was definitely some irritation. So I feel like the more I've worn it, the more sensitive my skin has gotten to it. And the irritation is mostly subsided now, 2.5 days later. But it was really, especially on Sunday, or on Saturday, 3.5 days later, I guess. On Saturday, it was really irritated. So that's kind of a bummer. And again, if I could improve that product one way, I would have them use some hypoallergenic metal as the conductor metal that goes right against the skin. And then yesterday, like when I drove into town, I felt pretty queasy too. Just didn't feel good. Now, when I got to the office for the staff meeting and ate my lunch, which I was kind of skeptical about eating the lunch because I didn't feel good, but I knew I needed to eat, I felt much better after that, which could have been a combination of eating and just getting there, not being on the road anymore, and starting the staff meeting, which is usually enjoyable. So, but yeah, it's been kind of a bummer. I haven't felt nauseous today, so that's good, but a little bit crummy to have it come back. But otherwise, I feel good. Like I said, sometimes when I'm sitting, I feel like, I've really got to sit up because now there's enough baby pushing up that I feel a little bit short of breath. But as far as physical activity and stuff, that's all fine. Like with the square dancing, I was tired by the end of the dance, but I didn't feel like I was dying or anything. 2 dances was enough for me, but I felt good. I haven't been good about walking every day. I definitely need to get back to doing that. But otherwise, I would say that physically things are good. Most of what's been troubling is just trying to figure out how to juggle the last few weeks being really busy and just hoping that they kind of will calm down, and also kind of juggling stress, things that are stressful to me personally, and trying to work on those, overcome those, do, some of that soul searching and reaching out for help and stuff where I can do that. So I guess my goals for the coming week, one of the things I am doing much better on is getting up early. I'm still not getting up as early as I would like to, but this week and last week especially, except for when I was sleeping in after birth, but I've done pretty well. So I'm pleased with that. One thing I really do want to get back to doing is the podcast for the website. It has been hard to figure out how to fit that in. And I think I just really want to prioritize making that happen, getting back to the Birth, Baby, and Life podcast, because I have people tell me that they miss it. It's something that I really enjoy, and it also brings in new listeners and new visitors to my website, which is helpful from a business perspective. So that's something that I really want to try and get back to doing. I have one of the other problems is that I just feel like I don't have quite as much time to research, or like, especially because I'm trying to work hard on my schoolwork right now. By the time I get finished with school research, I sometimes don't feel like I have creativity to do research for a podcast or for an article or something. And sometimes I can take what I'm learning and directly, push that directly into a podcast. And so I should try and do that more. But like, I think my podcast this week, if I can manage to make it happen, is going to be like, a day in the life of a student midwife, or, what my life is like as a student midwife, because that's seriously changed things. I would say in the past year, the two things that have made life the most different for me, and in some aspects hardest, have been my mom having a stroke, which was almost a year ago, which is still very labor intensive, so to speak. And then number two is starting an active apprenticeship rather than just doing the academics for midwifery. And especially in the past couple of months, because we've just had so many clients. And again, I'm hoping that kind of dies down a little bit for me, at least for a little bit, just because the demands on my time for all the extra appointments, even not just the births, but the postpartum visits and the home visits and all of that. But otherwise, those are really the big things that have kind of changed in life, and I feel like I've had a harder time integrating those, so I'm still working on that, and of course, then being pregnant. Another pretty cool thing is that I do like a ladies' Bible study once a month with some girlfriends, and at the Bible study last week, which even though I was tired, I decided to go to because I'm always glad that I went to, and so we were talking about like maternity clothes and things, and I was saying I needed to fish mine out of the attic, and my friend was like, well, I've got mine just under the bed, because we were at one of the houses, and she's like, you can borrow them, Kristen, because she's not pregnant right now. So she pulled those out. So this is actually one of her shirts, and I'm wearing, she only had one skirt, which is okay because I have a few maternity skirts down already. But I really love the skirt, and I think I kind of like the shirt too. So that's been kind of fun to try on some different maternity clothes and see how those look on me. Another thing that's fun, like especially about the skirt, is it's still a little too big, which makes me feel good. Like, I'm not super, super huge yet if the maternity skirt is a little bit too big. But it's also nice, like for today where I'm going to go to a client visit, to be able to wear something that I feel like looks really nice and fits really well. And is not like, my husband's giant t-shirt or something that I'm going to just wear around the house because I can and nobody's going to see me. So anyways, I'll go ahead and show you my belly because I can't really think of a whole lot else. The other thing that I want to try and do is maybe take some of the questions that I get via email and maybe try and get back to doing a live video a couple times a week, just probably whenever I can. I'm probably not going to be able to do it regularly, like at a regularly scheduled time. But, just answer a couple live questions. So if you do have a question that you're wondering about, don't put it as a comment on this video because I probably won't see it. But if you can email it to me, Kristen@naturalbirthandbabycare.com, or use the comment box from the website, that would be great. I can try and set it up like with Scott so that he's checking to see if people put questions in the video comments. And maybe I'll have him do that. But for right now, if you really want me to answer it, shoot me an email, Kristen@naturalbirthandbabycare.com. But for now, let me go ahead and show you my belly. And this week I am wearing, a skirt and top, so I can actually show you my belly. I do have my little belly chime on. I really like it. So I showed you guys this in a really early video, and I've been wearing it pretty consistently now, and I like it. So I'll just change that. So this is a maternity top. So I feel like it makes me look bigger than I am. Let me move so you can see more of me because I'm on the bed. But I also feel like it's cute. So there's the top. And then this is a maternity skirt. So it comes up a little bit. It's still quite loose, which makes me feel good. And then this is just an undershirt. So there's the belly. I think that the light angle is making it kind of blinding, so I'm sorry. But I feel like it's cute right now. And I've been having a little bit, like little hints of hip pain starting So I probably need to start just doing some alignment exercises and stuff to make sure that that doesn't get worse or stick around. It's just finding the time to lay on the floor and do those. But I actually researched those pretty intensively because I have had such huge problems with like hip pain and groin pain during pregnancy. So hopefully doing those exercises will help with that. I'll keep you updated as it feels like it might be more of a problem and I'm having to do more. But for now, I will let you go so that I can try and make a couple phone calls and get a couple of other things done before I have to hit the road. And I have a prenatal appointment next week. So depending on when it'll be on Tuesday. So I may be able to do the video after the appointment and let y'all know how that goes. But otherwise, things are good. Let me know how things are going with you. And I will talk to you next week.